Calaroga Shark Media.
Hey there, Johnny Mac with your daily comedy news. Now, if you're paying attention on Friday, you heard me drop 2 good stories on the fly. Well, I've moved them here to the top of Monday's episode. Congratulations to the folks at the 800-Pound Gorilla. They've done a deal with Nate Bargatze. They will become the official audio and video distributor for the YouTube specials of Nateland Entertainment. The partnership with the 800-Pound Gorilla puts the Nateland specials second window distribution of comedy specials from Aaron Weber, Nick Thune, and Greg Warren. The Gorilla has similar deals with Kevin Hart's Laugh Out Loud Network and All Things Comedy, which is Bill Burr and Al Madrigal's company. One of the Gorilla suits said, with both of us calling Nashville our home base, teaming up with Nate Bargatze and Nateland felt like the obvious move. Nate led the global comedy touring numbers last year, and he's mapping out even bigger plans as Nateland's audience grows. We're excited to be partners in helping propel that growth. Amen. Nate, don't give up the comedy, because I'm telling you, in about 10 years, I'm going to be doing a story. We're going to sit down. It's going to be daily comedy news. I'm going to be like, I can't believe they made Happy Gilmore 7. And I'm going to be like, yeah, Nate, remember when Nate Bargatze was going to open a theme park? Whatever happened to that? Remember that? That's coming, that story. You just got to wait a decade. All right, website The National caught Bill Burr in Abu Dhabi. Now, this was a week ago Saturday, and I bumped this a couple times. I don't know if you noticed last week. The episodes were quite long as it was, and I figured this could wait a minute. Spoilers, if you're planning on seeing Bill Burr overseas anyway. A lot of quotes from Burr set here that I'll do in my... again, it's not at all intended to be a Bill Burr impression. It's what I call on the show a half-ass impression. I'm not really trying to do Burr's voice, but I'll try and match his cadence the best I can. Burr said, every 4 years, the billionaires in my country figure out how to blame immigrants. You lose your job, your farm, you can't buy a house, and I'll tell you it's because some guy floated in on a mattress from Cuba. We always believe it because it's a white guy telling us. And we think, oh, white guy. I'm a white guy, same skin, same team. But it's not the same team, not the same team at all. Racist white people love to say, I don't have a problem with immigrants as long as they come here the right way. Oh yeah, did we? The immigrants should leave and come back in wooden ships and bring some COVID-laced blankets. Burr then started talking about Donald Trump. Burr said that Burr does not understand what's going on with the leadership of my country right now, and then started talking about Elon Musk and that salute of sorts that Mr. Musk did at one point. Remember that one? Burr said, there's a moment in America where if you did a Caitlyn Jenner joke, you were taking your career in your hands. 5 years later, this guy, this nerd, salutes not once but twice. Once to the front, once to the back. People try to play it off as something else and he didn't get in trouble. What's happening? Burr then started talking about how the achievements of ancient Egypt are questioned in Western discourse. Burr said, white people couldn't accept that somebody could do something they couldn't. If the pyramids had happened in Italy, they wouldn't be confused. They would say, today we're going to try and figure out who built the Roman Colosseum. Was it mermaids? Burr also discussed Jeff Bezos' $38 million wedding to Lauren Sanchez. Burr said, this guy's so in over his head. He spent $38 million to get married. Dude, you could have gone to Vegas and got that for $69. You're giving a starter relationship $38 million? It's because he's a nerd. Never had a girlfriend. He didn't play sports. It was his apartment playing on computers. He's not an idiot. He's just inexperienced. What's he going to get her for her birthday? He rented a whole city, all of Venice. How did she even ask for that? He probably wanted a Harry Potter-themed laser tag thing. She's sitting there with her emotions looking out the window saying, I was thinking maybe we could have a destination wedding. And he's like, what do you mean? Like Florida? He's going to be hanging out with the truck drivers he doesn't pay enough on the Amazon loading dock saying, I can't make this woman happy. Burr said he would like to go back, but says, I'll come back in the winter. That's when my wife will come. She'll support me on the road, just not in July. That's pretty good material, even with me half-ass channeling it. You can tell that's some really good writing that is obviously performed a trillion times better by Bill Burr. I'm just trying to host a podcast here. In case you're curious, in case you're new, I'm not a stand-up comedian. I'm not claiming to be a stand-up comedian. I've never tried to be a stand-up comedian. I don't want to be a stand-up comedian. I'm not saying I'm funny. I'm a guy in a basement reading you comedy news headlines. That's all this is. Adam Sandler, Happy Gilmore 2, out on Friday. Boy, I might have to leave the country to avoid this whole thing. Adam Sandler spoke to E! Online about working alongside famous Hollywood actress Sadie Sandler, who's 19, and Sunny Sandler, who is 16. Adam told E! News about the Sandler actresses. Once they do it well, nothing feels better as a parent. It must be like when you're the parents of a baseball player and you're at the game and they get a hit, and you just go, thank God, it's just so much relief. Acting is something the two kids love. My one daughter studied it in school, and my other daughter studies it while doing high school, and they love it. They talk about it a lot. And E! News tells us it's not just starring in their dad's movies that excite Sadie and Sunny. In fact, Drew Barrymore recounted a tender moment of walking in on one of her children and one of Adam's daughters watching their 2000s rom-com 50 First Dates, which, as you know, as a frequent listener, is one of the few good Adam Sandler movies. Drew said, I was like, why are you guys watching this? Don't you get enough of me and your dad? The Texas Tribune Festival is coming to Austin November 13th through the 15th. I'm mentioning this because they announced influential voices who are joining them. One of the influential voices who will be at the Texas Tribune Festival in November, John Mulaney. And the presser tells us Mulaney is a 3-time Emmy Award, Critics' Choice Award, and WGA Award-winning writer, comedian, and actor. He's also a constitutional law nerd. So congratulations, asterisk, to Kill Tony. I saw the news media was picking up claiming that Kill Tony is now the #1 podcast. Now, they are saying this because Kill Tony showed up at the top of the YouTube charts. And now this is a whole thing. In the podcasting industry, the easiest thing to do is subscribe to the Pod News newsletter and subscribe to my Substack, and you can hear us go back and forth about this. So for us people who live on Old Man Mountain, a podcast is what I'm doing right now. It's audio. There are other things, like an example I'll use is Andrew Schultz interviewing President Trump sitting on a couch, and there's fake plants and a 4-camera setup, and it's lit properly and all that. YouTube thinks that's a podcast. And then somewhere between what Schultz does and what I do is the truth. Anyway, the YouTube charts include all kinds of things that us old people might not consider podcasts. Now, do I consider Kill Tony a podcast? Yes. But in terms of audio podcasts, what you listen to on, say, Apple Podcasts or listen to on your phone might be a better way to describe it. Please understand, Joe Rogan is light years ahead of everything else. Sometimes you'll see something show up at the top of the charts, but the charts have a recency bias based upon it's a regression of subscriptions and listens within the last 72 hours. So if you, sir, start a podcast today and get, 5,000 of your friends to listen to it in the next hour, you'll shoot up the charts. You won't stay there, but you'll shoot up. So every now and then, you'll see something at the top of the charts. And I always tell people, hey, when you're #1, take a screen grab and tell everybody you're #1 so nobody questions these things. So tap the brakes on Kill Tony having the #1 podcast. If you're seeing that as a headline, tap the brakes. He just might have had a good week on YouTube, and it's a good show. Don't get me wrong. This Just for Laughs Montreal Comedy Festival website is going to kill me, but things are picking up here. As I look at tonight's lineup, looks like the French shows have cleared out. I'm seeing a bunch of things in English today. They include Roast Battle Canada at 5 o'clock, the Culture Show at 7. Oh, there is a French show at 7. The JFL Live Sessions, probably an album taping, at 7. Another Roast Battle Canada at 8. The Sketch Show, hosted by Lou Lawrence, at 8:30. The Nasty Show at 9:30. Double Threat, Mark Little and Wally Barham at 10. Roast Battle Canada at 10:30. Midnight Surprise, 11:59. Okay, so if we were in Montreal, and I may have to leave the country because of this Adam Sandler stuff, so this might be my life very soon. I would say, all right, at 5 o'clock, let's do Roast Battle Canada. So that probably takes us to 6:30 or so. As we play this mental exercise, we've seen the Culture Show 95 times, so we don't need to go see that. You know what? We should grab dinner and then hit the Sketch Show at 8:30. So we'll grab dinner and a brew or two. Can I sidebar for that? I'll sidebar in a second. I almost got alcohol distracted. I'll come back to that. All right. 8:30 Sketch Show. We'll do that. And then let's see. That's at the Theater St. Catherine. And so is the 10 o'clock show at the Theater St. Catherine. Double Threat, Mark Little and Wally Barham. So we'll see the Sketch Show, and then we'll walk across the hall to see Double Threat. And then at that point, I've been seeing comedy shows since 5 o'clock, and we've had a meal and I've had a couple drinks there. You can go to Midnight Surprise. I'm going to bed. So speaking of alcohol, I forgot to share the story the other day. So volleyball on Wednesday, which is why I didn't watch the ESPYs live. First of all, so I'm not that good at volleyball. I play volleyball, but I'm not that good. But I can kind of serve. But one thing I do, and I nailed this. I'm so happy with myself. I'm humble bragging here. So Wednesday night, it's game 3. It's 23-23. First team to 25 wins, but you have to win by 2. And my serve comes up. I do this thing where I make it look like I'm a lot better at serving than I am. I'm a good server, but I'm not like a Hall of Fame server. What I do is I go up to the line and I really slow down the game. My teammates know I do this. And I look over and I just look down the other team and I make it look like I'm going to place the ball exactly where I want. And then I serve it short. And if I pull that off, even if they return it, that's fine. But if I pull that off, now it looks like, oh, I did that on purpose. And then if I get the second point, I'm in their heads now, and I do it again. So I got the first point, so it's 24-23, and I got the second point. And what happens is, because I hit the first one short, they start to move up, expecting me to soft serve, because apparently that's what I do. I took my time at the line, and I did a hard serve, and I hit it right where the pin is, because if you hit it where the pin is, the ball doesn't spin as much, and then when it does start spinning, it drops immediately. And I went bam, and it dropped right between the four of them. Walk-off win. Felt good about myself. Then we went to the bar, and I didn't know blackberry cider is a thing. Why didn't anyone tell me blackberry cider is a thing? I know about various ciders, Irish-American ancestry. I've been drinking ciders for decades. I love a nice cider over ice. And the nice waitress was like, I was like, what kind of cider do you have? She's like, we have a blackberry cider. I'm like, blackberry cider? Okay. Boy, it's delicious. I had 2 of those. And I digress. A new special out today on the 800-pound gorilla, Paul Foot's Dissolve, is available for early access. And meanwhile, the Edinburgh News had a preview of Seaton Smith, who had been opening for John Mulaney. Seaton is going to the Edinburgh Fringe Festival. And a lot of you know that I host the weekly comedy thing on the Live One app. The app is free. The show is free. The weekly comedy thing is like this. I talk less and I play comedy bits in between, much shorter versions of the story. I was playing some Seaton Smith stuff on this week's show. Boy, he is good. Let's keep an eye on Seaton Smith. Like good. His show Trauma Bonding will be at the Pleasant Courtyard. Spoilers. The show opens with a wide lens from plane crashes to presidential politics. Seaton Smith dissects the news with a mix of sharp observation and wide-eyed disbelief, but it's not long before the spotlight turns inward. His chaotic childhood, complicated dating life, and a recent moped crash all take center stage. At one point, spoilers, he even ends up in a hospital after trying to be Batman. It's a wild ride, but Smith knows what he's doing. He weaves high-energy punchlines through stories that take strange, sometimes emotional turns. One minute he's reliving a mountain biking accident, the next he's unpacking family trauma. Somehow it all holds together. Keep an eye on Seaton Smith. Okay, and that is your comedy news for today. See you tomorrow.